All right. Well, speaking of wealth, you wrote a book, Rich, on wealth. It's called The Wise Investor, a modern parable about creating financial freedom and living your best life. And I'm actually on the back cover because I read it and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, you were one of the first readers,
Yeah.
a beta reader for feedback. So.
Yeah, and I'm right below Robert Kiyosaki, which is a good place to be.
Two legends.
I love it. Tell me about the book. Tell me why you wrote it. Who's it for? What's it about?
I had written a couple nonfiction books, and I read a stat about nonfiction books that it's like 86% of people do not finish them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I don't want to write another book like that. Yeah. So, and people finish stories. So I wanted to write a compelling story that would pull people in and teach lessons at the same time. So that's why I went with the parable. And the lessons are all everything that we've learned from the last 25 years running our company, interviewing people about how do they create wealth in their lives and how do they live with what we call real wealth, which is more than just money. It's like, the whole thing to living a better life.
Yeah.
That's what real wealth really is. So I just wanted to weave all those together in a story that was going to be compelling, that people wanted to, turn the pages and finish the book.
Yeah,
so
that's really
basically it tells that story of a kind of a struggling 40-something family man who has no time for his kids or his wife or his life.
It's a common tale.
Then he meets a wise mentor who shows him a new way to create wealth.
Yeah. Well, what is, I mean, you said real wealth is more than money. Mm-hmm. How would you define real wealth?
Yeah. Why don't you define real wealth?
Well, we've always defined it as, let me start with, having lived in high net worth areas, our kids would tell us what it was really like in some of those homes. In fact, almost all of the homes where the kids wouldn't talk to their parents, and they couldn't even find their parents. Their houses were so big, and they were raised by nannies, and their mother never cooked for them. And our little tiny place was always full of kids, and I would make them food, and they just thought that was amazing, that the mother would be feeding them. I forget the question.
Yeah, real wealth.
How do you define real wealth? Huh?
So, wealth is not that. It's not a big empty house with unhappy children. That's not wealth. Wealth, we've had people come to Real Wealth who all they wanted was, maybe this one guy just wanted to be an artist.
Yeah.
He just wanted to spend his day doing art. And so when we sat with him, it's like, well, what are your expenses? What's it going to take for you to do that? It was like $2,500 a month. Was all he needed to live his dream. So it's not about the money. It's about how much time can you free up to live life the way that you want. To me, that's what real wealth is. And he considered himself financially free immediately. He was able to get the right assets that would give him enough passive income to be able to create art all day.
Yeah.
To be job optional.